Hi everyone, I hope everyone is having an amazing day so far. Dapper Day is just around the corner. It's coming up in a few weeks now at the Walt Disney World Resort, and I wanted to take some time and really show you guys all of my tips, tricks, and hacks for Dapper Day and to really set you up for success to make the best of your Dapper Day experience. I do have a general guide to Dapper Day, but this time I'm gonna break it down into different categories and really go into detail about all of my tips, tricks, and hacks for you. Today we're gonna be starting with the face, the best way to keep your makeup on, and little things like that. Practice your makeup. Practice your makeup. And there's a few reasons for that. One, so you know what you're doing, and that way you don't wake up Dapper Day morning and you're trying to figure out how to do your makeup. You're watching a YouTube tutorial and you mess it up 600 times and then you just get frustrated with it. Practice your makeup beforehand. This is also good because if you are using new products, you'll know how your skin is going to react to it. You don't want a bad reaction on Dapper Day. That would be terrible. You don't want that. So do practice your makeup. If you haven't used any of the products I'm going to show you today, I do recommend buying them maybe a week in advance, trying them out, seeing if you have a reaction. If you don't, great, you're good to go. Or if you don't have a reaction but maybe it doesn't work for you, there's still time to come up with a backup plan. Or maybe your skin reacts terribly to it and you realize, great, I'm going to not use this. I'm gonna use what works for my skin. So yeah, I do recommend make a list. Make a list of new products you're gonna try and products that you already know that work. That way you do have a good backup plan. So with all that being said, I do recommend, as everyone should, please moisturize. Moisturize your skin. What I personally use, it's worked very well for me, is the Everyday Coconut Face Lotion. I buy this at Whole Foods. I will say it is very potent in the white department. It is a white moisturizer, just like that, but it will leave a slight white residue on your skin if you use too much. So practice with it if you are still looking for a good moisturizer, especially for Florida. Practice with it, see how much you actually need. You really don't need a whole lot. It smells amazing, like it smells wonderful, and it is SPF 15. So it will protect against the sun. Even if it's rainy or cloudy, always use something with SPF. In Florida, the best way to get a burn is on a cloudy day. I have fallen victim to that. If you already have a moisturizer that works really well for you, I say stick with that, but if you are looking for something, I highly recommend the Everyday Coconut Face Lotion. My next hack is one that comes from my dance and theater days. Look into stage makeup. All right, Florida has a lot of humidity and stage makeup is typically designed to fight against sweat. I use the Miron Star Blend Cake Makeup. This is a powder. It's just a powder. I put my foundation on and then I layer this on top of it. And this does an amazing job of keeping the sweat in and making it look like you don't sweat. I use this on stage. I've used this in a circus performance one time, and let me tell you, it does not, you don't sweat with it, and it makes it look like you're not sweating. So it's a great powder to have. You can get this at any dance or theatrical store. You can also find it on Amazon. I think I get all mine from Amazon. I'll put a link down below. Next is also from my dance and theater days. It's getting a good translucent powder. I use the e.l.f. translucent powder. The Laura Mercier one is also really good, but e.l.f. is a good drugstore brand. But the way that you apply it is a little bit different. It's similar to baking, but you don't fully bake, if that makes sense. I pour some in the lid, and then I take the powder puff that comes with it, or if this one gets a little on the dirtier side, I'll just buy a new powder puff. But then you just apply it all over, and you look ridiculous doing this, let me tell you, because you're gonna get a ton of white powder just all over your face. But layer it on. And then just take a kabuki brush and then just buff it into your skin. This works really well with keeping the makeup on your face. For my skin, I have found that baking doesn't work, but this works a lot better. With baking, I tend to get like creases in my skin. It's very strange. It's very strange. But you just buff it into your skin and you kind of take the excess off, and it'll give you a nice matte finish for the entire day. And it works really well. Again, I use this on stage and I've never had any issues with my makeup coming off. For me, it's worked really well. For you, baking might work better. It just depends. For those of you that don't know, baking is where you put the translucent powder on and then you leave it on, I think it's for 5 to 15 minutes, something along those lines. I've experimented with 5, 10, and 15 minutes and none of them worked. For me, what worked the best was just putting it on, then dusting off the excess. But like I said, baking might work for your skin. It's all just about what's gonna work for you. The other hack I have is to stay away from highlighter. Reason being, I mean, you can highlight your skin with maybe like just like a lighter shade of powder, but using actual shimmery highlighter, I do recommend staying away from, because Florida is so humid. It's gonna make you look like you're sweating even more, and it may not look the best. I have actually, I know I've deleted all said photos, but it's made me look like I am probably 20 years older when I've used the highlighter, especially just with the Florida humidity and the Florida heat. Having that the highlighter mixing with the humidity sometimes just makes you look like you're a little bit more oily and that you're you're sweating a little bit more. And unfortunately, translucent powder doesn't help that, because it's just gonna sit on top of the translucent powder. It's not gonna tone down that glitter and the shimmer that's in it. But if you do wanna highlight your skin, I say use just a lighter shade of powder. For me, I have the Smashbox contouring kit. It has a contour, a bronzer, and a highlighter. I recommend just using the highlighter, or even just any contour kit that you have, or a highlighting powder, just not a specific highlighter. My last tip is to find a translucent powder compact. The reason why I say that is because regular compacts, when you put it on, it's gonna take over your blush and your contour, but a translucent one will help to absorb any oil that you have, but still keeping that look finished. I do apologize because the one that I use is no longer in production and I haven't found another one, but if you are one of the lucky few that still has it, I use the Besme Cosmetics. This is the Agent Carter Invisible Dusting Powder. I'm obsessed with this. I'm so mad at myself because I didn't buy like 6 of them before they sold out, but I'm obsessed with it. It works really well. And I also recommend using a combination between a powder puff and then also a small kabuki brush. I bring the kabuki brush with me to Dapper Day just as a way for final touch-ups while I'm out in the parks. They do work really well. I don't know where I got this one from. I want to say I got it from like Target or somewhere, but it's just a small kabuki brush. Fits perfectly in my bag. The other reason why I recommend bringing this is because translucent powder tends to be a little bit more universal, and personally for me, I like to travel light when I go to Dapper Day. I don't like bringing a giant backpack with my entire cosmetic kit in it. I like just to be simple and leave it at that. So I bring this and my kabuki brush, and that's really it for my face. In terms of touch-ups, I will sometimes bring some concealer just to dab on if I do end up messing up my makeup in some way. I'll bring some concealer, but those are really the only 3 things I now bring to Dapper Day with me. I mean, I bring my lipstick too, but in terms of the face, really just this, the kabuki brush, my compact, and then my concealer. If you do have a good compact, I have I think mine's a Bare Minerals one. I have brought it in the past, but I found that I always stick to a translucent one more. Just because for my skin it's worked better. My recommendation, if you haven't used a translucent powder compact, is leave your regular compact at home, bring your translucent one, and use that throughout the day. make notes, see what you're seeing, pros and cons, good and bad, and make your decision that way. That way you know what you're getting yourself into and you're not in the parks wishing that you had your other compact with you. These are all of my tips, at least for the face. I do have some other ones planned, but I hope everyone has a phenomenal day. And if you have any face tips, by all means, please comment them down below. I would love to hear them. Like I said, these are all the tips that have worked for me. Some may not work for you, but if they do, that is awesome, and this video has been a success. But sharing is caring. If you do have some, comment them down below so we can all see what they are. And I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see everyone later. Bye!